The Freedom Fellowship is an organization of people who believe in freedom. They're more geared to freedom than they are to control. They're not, interested in controlling their fellow human beings. They're more interested in all of us living free. And so we talk about people that are abolitionists instead of prohibitionists. And we come together and with one goal in mind, and that is to increase liberty. And of course, you do that by removing prohibitions.
So why the three? What are the three guys about?
Three guys are champions of liberty. Obviously, Thomas Jefferson in the Declaration of Independence, and where he laid out the premise that we are all born with certain well, actually, he didn't say born. He said created with certain unalienable rights, and that governments were instituted among men to secure those rights. That's the purpose of government. And then, of course, that guy named Paine, Thomas Paine, he laid out the premise that society and government are two different things. And people kind of mix them up, get them confused. Government's whole purpose is to really deal with the negative aspects of society where people violate other people. And society's whole purpose is the free exchange of goods and services. So he said that government, even in its best form, was evil because it required that you give up a portion of your production for the protection of the rest. He said that in society in every form was a blessing because, just by operating with one another and exchanging, it's a blessing to both parties. And then, of course, we go on to Bastiat, who made the premise that the law's whole purpose was to really secure your rights of life, liberty, and property, and that any law that did the opposite of that, any law that took any of that away from you, was actually a perversion of the law. So that's why we got these three champions of liberty.
So what is this site, how is this site going to help us fight for our liberty?
Well, the idea is to get about 1 million people together that are on the email list, and we can tell these 1 million people all at the same time, look, here's a group or an organization out there or an individual that we recommend that you support because this person needs our help and they're a champion of liberty and they have this goal to achieve. And so then you can do it, or you could support them or not. It's up to you. And so if you got 1 million people, send $100 to a presidential candidate that's a champion of liberty, you've got $100 million. So you got, great fundraising capability, and not at asking, one or a few people to pay the whole burden.
So what's going to be required if I decide I want to join?
Well, you don't have to do anything, or you can help. It's up to you. And we'll ask you to give us $1 a month. You can give $6 at once or $12 or whatever, or not. It's up to you. And if you think what we're doing is worthwhile, send us $1 a month. We want to make it so easy that people will do it.
Now, how do the links get on the website? How do you come up with those?
Well, we're freedom-based organizations. So if you got a freedom-based organization in mind, you want them to be on the website, then contact us and say, hey, this is the American Freedom Jungle, whatever. And we'd like it to be on. We check them out. If they're a good freedom organization or got freedom as their basis, boom, we'll plug them in. We're not interested in control organizations that want to control things, because there's plenty of that out there. To control this problem in society, this problem in that society. We're interested in organizations that are trying to hold the line against violations of people's rights.
Yeah. How are you going to determine what are good and bad? Is that going to be solely your choice, or does the members get to choose and help?
Yeah, exactly. In fact, we'll get feedback from people if they say, we don't like this organization being on the website. We don't think this is what they're doing, that's what they're doing. Of course, we'll look at that and take them off if they're doing things that are the antithesis of liberty. But for the group or organization that we're going to support for the month, we're going to have a jury selection, a jury process. Pick that organization for the month. It could be, could have several people involved in that. Could have 100 people involved in that, maybe 10 organizations that are vying to be the organization of the month. And so we'll work out a system where the organization that gets the most votes will be that organization of the month.
Okay. What was that address again?
The website is pbjfreedomfellowship.com.